And Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, once hailed as the couple who modernized royalty, are now facing a very public financial crisis. In a stunning legal setback, J.P. Morgan Chase Private Bank has foreclosed on their $14.6 million Montecito estate after they defaulted on a $23 million loan. That loan, secured against their highly publicized Netflix contract, has since collapsed along with the deal itself. Industry insiders recall that during negotiations, Harry and Meghan pitched their Netflix deal as a guarantee. "We've got a $100 million contract," they said. "Lend us $23 million and we'll pay you back." At first, it sounded convincing. Netflix had just announced a multi-year partnership with Arkowell Productions, promoted as a game-changer. But inside J.P. Morgan, doubts quickly surfaced. Not about their fame, but about their ability to deliver. By the end of 2023, those doubts were confirmed. But Netflix deal was not guaranteed cash. Payments depended on milestones, and audience numbers. The couple had only received a modest advance, far less than they anticipated. And it wasn't enough to sustain their lifestyle. They borrowed heavily against a vision of success that never materialized. The loan required 4 installments beginning mid-2023. Yet over nearly 2 years, they repaid only 8%. Court documents showed repeated notices ignored and contracts breached. The judge's ruling was decisive. The Montecito home, used as collateral, would be seized. For Harry and Meghan, this wasn't just the loss of a house. It was the collapse of their brand. The home that symbolized independence was stripped away in front of the world. The fallout spread quickly. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos told executives the company would not renew their deal, citing poor performance and inconsistency. Arkowell staff were informed of emergency restructuring. PR campaigns were halted. Social media went silent, and with no new projects or income, their empire was frozen. Analysts weren't surprised. One Los Angeles wealth manager explained they didn't have $100 million in hand. What they had was a conditional contract. They gambled on it and lost. Inside Arkowell, reports of unpaid invoices and delayed projects grew louder. Advisors raised questions about financial transparency, while the couple's silence only fueled speculation. Netflix projects unraveled one by one. Meghan's animated series Pearl was canceled before production. Harry's Heart of Invictus faced repeated delays and lukewarm reviews. Other ideas never left the drawing board. By the time Netflix pulled the plug, millions had already been lost. Other platforms weren't interested. Hulu and Amazon passed. Spotify refused to return, and Apple TV reportedly wouldn't even consider them. The couple, once viewed as cultural disruptors, had become liabilities, expensive, high maintenance, and risky. Public criticism intensified. Hashtags like #SussexCollapse and #M. Montecito foreclosure trended. Even loyal supporters began asking tough questions. Where did the money go? Why wasn't the loan repaid? Why claim success while secretly defaulting? Court filings provided the answer. The $23 million loan wasn't invested into sustainable projects. It was spent on short-term costs. Millions went to staff salaries, legal fees, private security, and luxury upgrades to their estate. Over $6 million was spent on PR and reputation management, while another $4 million funded landscaping and privacy features. In short, the money went into maintaining appearances, not building growth. That revelation shook donors and sponsors. Charities quietly ended partnerships with Arkowell, with one children's nonprofit in London confirming they had parted ways. The message was clear. Harry and Meghan didn't just lose their house, they lost their credibility. The dream they once sold the world, independence, stability, and control, has crumbled. Their most valuable asset now belongs to the bank. And the collapse wasn't only financial, it was reputational. What makes this downfall worse is that it was avoidable. They placed everything on a single deal, leveraged their personal assets, and underestimated the demands of long-term success. In Hollywood, headlines don't guarantee results. Delivery does. And they didn't deliver.